What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to break down my top 3 off-road mods for the new off-roaders out there that are just thinking about getting out there and doing some wheeling. This stuff is going to be very essential for you as far as keeping your Jeep in at least decent condition when you're done, as well as things that will just protect you and be a little bit of a safety net. So let's get started, guys. So the first one is not really a safety net thing. It's more of a ease and time-saving thing. So the first thing I would recommend, and this is a cheap one, so anybody can really do this, and you can do it from the comfort of your home too, even if you don't really know much about Jeeps. So first thing I would do is the quick disconnects. Now I just installed these. It literally took me 30 minutes. They're just the cheap rough country run ones because I didn't want to go expensive on these right now. This is not in the budget, but I wanted the easeability of being able to pull the pin and just be done with it. I did do the whole bring your impact and impact them off when you're on the trail for the stock ones. It's doable, but it kind of sucks. You have to get down there, you have to turn the wheel so you can fit the impact in there. So it just kind of sucks. It's not fun to do, and it takes like 15 minutes to get everything done. Whereas these, you literally take the pin out, pull them up here, zip tie them up, and it takes maybe 3 minutes for the whole entire process. So it just makes life a lot easier. And as you see on the other side too, it's just a really easy install and something I think is worth gold when it comes to off-roading, especially if you're off-roading a lot. It's just gonna save you a lot of time, as well as give you some more time on the trail. So the next one is something that can save your entire day of wheeling, especially if you're on the rocks. So this one is a big one. So if you're doing any sort of rock crawling, I would highly recommend you get at least an oil and transmission skid plate. So this one I literally just installed. It is the M.O.R.E, I think it's Mountain Off-Road or something along those lines, skid plate down there. And of course I'll get down there and show you it, but super easy install on that one too. It was only like 300 bucks, and it gives you the peace of mind that if something snags down there or a rock hits down there, it's not going to ruin your whole entire day, and you're not going to spill oil and transmission everywhere and have to get towed. So it's really, this one is really one that you need, I would say. And just to give you an idea, this was my transmission skid plate bar that was on there from stock, and I have really tore this thing up. It was beating up my exhaust because kept bashing into the exhaust, and it was literally centimeters away from hitting my transmission pan. So definitely something I highly recommend. As you can see, there is the skid plate I installed. The skid plate was a little difficult as far as getting the motor mounts moved so I could get the bolts in there to get the pan to hang like that. But other than that, it was a very easy install. I think this skid plate itself came in right around 50 or 55 pounds. So it's really not that heavy, and it's super nice, thick steel. So it's gonna protect you against anything that tries to beat up your oil pan or transmission pan. And the third thing is also something that is just worth its weight in gold, and that is rock sliders. So as you can see, I have used these. In fact, they've dented in my body panels a little bit from really bashing up against rocks. So these are ones I wouldn't highly recommend just because these are actually frame mounted, I believe. And they're not the most sturdy in the world. They've actually bashed up into my body a lot. Not enough to do really much damage, so I'm gonna keep them. But I would highly recommend the VKS ones. Those are super high quality. Even if you get the weld-in ones, which are a lot sturdier and you have to pay a welder, it's still worth it. I mean, these are super nice to have. I have used them so much, and they can actually help you with an obstacle. If you have to pivot on an obstacle, it can really help you get around a rock, or it can help you slide over a rock as well. So these are worth their weight. They save your whole entire panel here. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff down there that even if you like to beat up your Jeep, you don't want that beat up. It's gonna decrease the value of your Jeep, and also it just sucks fixing body panels. So that is something I would highly recommend if you're going off-road, especially for the first time. And I say especially for the first time because you're new to off-roading and you're not exactly sure what lines to take. If you're like me, you watched a few videos before you went out, but you're still not sure which lines to take. You're not sure, as far as being in the driver's seat, you're not sure how your Jeep's gonna react to being up on a huge rock and then dropping. So it's just important to have that protection on there. And those were a super easy install too. You can get rock sliders for around 300, 400 bucks. So really not that bad of a price, and it's a great upgrade that you can do right in the garage. All right, guys, that wraps up my top 3 off-road mods for new off-roaders or even intermediate off-roaders. These 3 things are very important, especially if you're beating on your Jeep. You want that protection. You want to know you're not going to be stranded in the middle of the trail. So of course there's a lot of off-road mods you can get, and these aren't the best 3. These are just my top 3 that I have found super convenient, super useful, and nice to have as reassurance when you're out on the trail, especially if you're out there by yourself. So these things I would highly recommend. So again, recap here. Number 1 would be the quick disconnects for easeability. 2 would be skid plates in case you beat your Jeep up real bad. You don't want to get stranded without oil or without transmission fluid. Number 3 would be rock sliders, just because I've used them so much, especially being in the rocks, doing some rock crawling. It would be highly recommended. So I really appreciate you watching, guys. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and please like and subscribe for more Jeep and off-road content. Thanks, guys.